Talk of segregation is a surefire sign that labor rights are about to go in reverse. We often think of race when we talk about segregation, but it is for classist reasons. Hear me out. I'm Dr. Anna Schmidt. I'm an industrial organizational psychologist, and I research the unwritten rules of work for the working class. Segregation is intentionally used to keep working class whites away from black and brown people so that the rich elite can blame the consequences of their actions on black and brown people, to keep white people on their side and to keep us repeatedly in barely better conditions or a little better conditions while they keep most of the power. I am not denying the conditions are worse for black and brown people, to be clear. I am also pointing out that white people continuously get bamboozled by this. Segregation has been a tool all over the world by rich elite to keep people in the working classes and race divides so they're fighting each other and not them. In America, this started in 1676. I've made videos about Bacon's Rebellion, but a recent and infamous use of this was in South Africa's apartheid. Can anybody think of anybody who would know a lot about South Africa's apartheid and might have benefited from it personally? When people of similar class but different races are together, they join together to revolt. In the early 20th century, people who owned mines made the mistake of not segregating their workers. They made some of them live on site, even though the towns they lived in were still racially segregated. And these miners started to realize that the same people letting them die in mines without safety regulations and without paying them fair wages as they got richer and richer, it actually wasn't the person of the other race, it was the owner of the mine. And they revolted, and since they looked different, they wore red bandanas around their necks to signify that they were unified and working together. And this is the origin of the term redneck, and no wonder it's considered derogatory. This led to one of the bloodiest battles in our labor history, the Battle of Blair Mountain, where the U.S. military fired on these groups who were peacefully protesting. After years of persistence, though, the mine owners had to roll out more safety regulations and better pay. But frequently, elites try to get away with as much as possible while keeping people in tow and on their side. Why? Because they blame the other person. So this is a warning. If we start getting segregated facilities again, or allowing to work with segregated facilities again, they're going to be doing something that they want to be able to blame the other side for. And nobody knows this better than our co-president, who grew up wealthy in apartheid South Africa. And yes, there will be benefits that white people get that will not go to black and brown groups, that I am sure of. But I promise you, my fellow pales, there is no water fountain nice enough to be worth exploitation and a reversal of your labor rights.